Good evening and welcome. Our challenge is capturing the scale above the rail, or how can we better use the rail corridor? Sydney is a growing city. Over the next 15 years, the population will increase by 1.5 million people. The city itself is constrained geographically, so much of this growth will be through urban infill projects. Development will be focused along these urban renewal corridors, the blue lines that follow the train line. The red circles are strategic growth centres located at existing train stations, like the proposed development at Chatswood. These transit-oriented developments, or TODs, are commonplace in other cities, and Sydney can expect more high-density development over and above stations. So we didn't see this as the best opportunity for innovation. The rail corridor, the blue lines where more people will live, have evolved to connect the city. But the corridor itself on the ground has become a symbol of disconnection. It's difficult to get from one side to the other. Visually, it reduces amenity. The noise from the trains make it less desirable. And there's a vast area of underutilised space. Population growth will put strain on the power, water, and social infrastructure, things like schools and public open space. Local governments not only need to maintain the existing green space, but provide more to accommodate the growing population. This space represents an amazing opportunity for the growth of Sydney and to enhance our daily lives. So this is our focus. How can we use the rail corridor to meet these challenges?
Our solution is UpTrack, the Smart Modular Community Space Network. UpTrack takes the land dedicated to the rail corridor and turns it into a space for the people. It is a modular, prefabricated social space and active transport network. UpTrack improves the experience of living near the railway while providing much needed space for community facilities. UpTrack solves a variety of Sydney's connectivity challenges. In fact, there are 3 layers of connectivity within the UpTrack intervention. The first is the linear connection formed between the stations by the shared pedestrian and bike link. This runs above and alongside the tracks. The second is the platform element which straddles the tracks. It bridges the disconnect between the 2 sides of the urban fabric carved apart by the rail corridor. Each platform is connected to the others either directly by installing a number of platforms alongside each other or indirectly via the pedestrian and bike link. When above ground level, the platform is linked back into the surrounding urban environment via stairs, lifts or ramps. The third layer of connectivity within our solution is the opportunity to integrate services into the structure. All rail infrastructure service requirements will be fully integrated into the system. What's more, the structure could even be used to deliver utilities to the city. That means these services will be above ground and therefore easy and safe to access and maintain. UpTrack solves our demand for community facilities. The UpTrack platform provides flexible social spaces which evolve with the needs of the local community. The possible uses of the platform are endless, from parks and community gardens for food production, to yoga studios or spaces for playing sports, to places for learning languages, music or arts and crafts, to flexible office pods, to small-scale food and retail or even outdoor cinemas. UpTrack also solves the challenge of building in proximity to rail. The UpTrack network is constructed from a lightweight, prefabricated, modular concrete structure. The sides of this structure can be left open to allow natural light to penetrate through to the train carriages, or alternatively, they can be filled and acoustically treated, reduce the level of noise pollution to surrounding residences. These walls can then be covered by public murals created by the local community, or plants can be grown on them, or the internal walls can even be used for advertising targeted at train commuters. If these sides of the structures are indeed filled in, they can also be used to collect the rainwater drained from the platforms above. Finally, did I mention that the modules are easy to construct and install?
An important element of Uptrack is that the train services are not disrupted. So we've consulted with Sydney Trains to ensure that the services keep running. So Uptrack is really easy to build. You simply need to put the footings down and leave them to set. The modules can be transported by semi-trailer or train and simply lowered on with a crane. Therefore, creating community spaces in a quick and efficient manner. We wanted to provide some examples of where elevated linear space works. So the High Line in New York and the proposed Bloomingdale Trail in Chicago are disused rail lines that have been repurposed for community space. The High Line is very successful, and a lot of us in the room have probably heard about it. And there's also the Sky Cycle that Norman and Foster and Partners has proposed in London, which is an elevated cycle network over the train line. We believe that Uptrack is different and unique because it provides a smart, modular, quick to install and multifunctional community space. I also wanted to touch on who benefits. So the community and local residents benefit because their communities are stitched back together. They're stronger and healthier. The state government benefit because it's a good news story and it leaves a great legacy with quick, easy installation. The local government is strapped for space. They're trying to provide enough space for all of their community, so that's a big win. The commuters have options, so they can get on their bike or they can walk between stations. The developers can also benefit because they could potentially help fund the proposals and make their developments more desirable. Transport for New South Wales achieve a flexible and adaptable option to open space, and the environment also benefits because you can have food production, co-location of services and active transport options. So we're going to hear across the challenges tonight that we're really strapped for space. As Sydney grows, we're going to be really, it's going to be very important of how we use our space into the future. We believe that Uptrack solves this problem. So as Sydney grows, where do we go? Uptrack, smart, modular community space network. Very much. I'm going to have to go to Tim first up for this one, I think.
Well done, transporters. Congratulations. The space above a railway line is a fairly contested discussion, so you know that sort of use of airspace is unique, and well done for thinking outside the box on it. In terms of the practicalities of it, I'll simply say that I fundamentally enjoyed watching the toy train being established there, and everyone in this room will have their own comment on how quickly you can build railway lines, and we all wish we could do it in that speed. I suppose just some of the stuff around going through your due diligence with this without getting too much into rail technicalities is just thinking about the environment and safety and those sort of key parameters when you take on a challenge like this, because it is quite unique. That's one. Two is for the first 2 seconds when you pitched, we all probably went to New York High Line in thinking about what you were doing, and you can have a good long walk there. You can do certain activities here. I suppose you probably could have just put a little bit more into how you might commercialise a few aspects of it in terms of actually putting up the modules and who might use them. You'd certainly use them for open space, but how you might actually make a few dollars out of it as well. But well done.
All right, thanks, Tim.
This particular topic is often discussed at Lendlease. Obviously, land is so critically important and enormously valuable, particularly in precincts like this. I think we've looked at similar solutions before, but I think the uniqueness of this is probably in its simplicity. But I think unlocking something like this is pairing up with other people that get the benefit. And the immediate, obvious one is the people in the group before. So unlocking the adjoining spaces that is prohibitively expensive to build on like this, but if you take a use from an adjoining where they can get a higher and better use out of the land and do something more economical from an open space perspective here, I think that's the key here. So yeah, great.
Okay, well done. Thank you, guys.